Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining my presentation as part of the D6 Small Business Virtual Summit. We're so excited to be participating in this incredible opportunity to serve our community of small business owners and entrepreneurs. My name is Amanda, and I own a company called Doll Holistic Health, which is based here in San Diego, California, with my husband, Christopher. We work with people all over the world and in person here in San Diego to help them live their best life and move forward in their healing using energy medicine. My presentation today is Unlocking Your Business and Unblocking You. So many times business owners and entrepreneurs have blockages that don't allow them to move forward with their business, and they can't identify exactly what it is that's holding them back from their fullest potential with their business. Through the years, I've been able to identify some of these blocks and ways to explain to them what's going on and how we can help to break through those barriers and move forward in your business. So today I'm going to give you a talk about some of my experiences with that will help you to remove these barriers. So first I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. My family was diagnosed with Lyme disease in 2013 after 18 years of no answers as to what was wrong with us. So that was myself, my husband, and my son. Later that same year, when we were in treatment, our son woke up unable to breathe due to a reaction with antibiotics. Right then and there, I asked God that if he could help get us through this, I would spend the rest of my life helping others to heal. I had no idea how I was going to do this at the time, but that was the deal that I made. I had experienced energy healing for the first time during a massage, and this is while we were on our healing journey. So going into Lyme treatment, I had no idea about energy medicine, what it was, or why it's so necessary for people in their healing journey. When I felt how amazing my body felt and my spirit felt after having energy work, I didn't book massages anymore. I only booked energy healing sessions. Energy healing changed my life forever. Once I started receiving regular treatments, my healing accelerated. And I realized that I had been addressing only the physical piece in my healing, but there's an emotional and energetic system in the body that also needs to be addressed in our healing, or we're just never going to cross that finish line if we're only paying attention to those physical things. Addressing the energy system of the body was the missing piece to my healing. After years of chronic pain, exhaustion, insomnia, my body felt better. Energy came back. I was sleeping again. If any of you have chronic illness or any kind of chronic health condition, you know how important sleep can be. And when you're not getting any, nothing goes right. So from there, I took many classes on energy healing, and I've been healing others ever since. So let's talk about energy healing basics and what it means for you as an entrepreneur. So this would be a great time to grab a notebook and a pen, because as we're going through the next piece, I want you to write down things that you identify with and what part of the body we're talking about when you recognize that maybe this is something that you're experiencing too. So let's talk about what is energy healing. Energy healing is the practice of activating energy to remove blocks and restore balance in the physical body, aura, which is your personal space, and the chakras or the energy system of the body, which I'm going to explain to you in the next piece. All of these things together is what makes up energy healing. So let's break it down a little bit. So on the left side of the screen, you'll see a diagram of the physical body, the white part, okay? And then all of those colors that are coming out from the body are your aura. I tell people to think of it like your personal space. Back in the old days when we go to the grocery store and people could stand as close as they want, if you had ever felt anybody, like maybe their carriage was really close to you when you were standing in line at the checkout, or maybe they were physically standing really close to you and it made you feel like you needed to take a step forward, that was because their aura or their personal space was kind of bumping into your personal space. So we have our physical body and we have our aura, and our aura is where we store excess energy and emotions in our body. So think of it as if you're in a meeting and somebody comes into the meeting and they have lots of bravado, they are larger than life. That is because their aura is huge. They've got lots of confidence. They take up energetically a lot of space. And then think about if you're feeling like you're having a really down day. A lot of times when we're going to work on Monday morning, even as entrepreneurs, right, we need that cup of coffee. We feel a little bit small, we feel a little bit flat. And that's because that energy isn't puffing out our aura yet. So, we drink our coffee, eat our breakfast, maybe we go to the gym or exercise at home, take our shower, and then our aura starts to come to life, right? We start radiating that energy. That's the aura. The other key system of the body is the energy centers. And a lot of times people know these as chakras. So these energy centers are how our body moves and stores energy. And we're going to talk a lot more about this today because it's so important. If these energy centers get blocked or they're flat or they're too full of energy, then it makes us feel very off balance. So this is just a quick diagram to show you the different chakras is usually how they're referred to. So we have the crown chakra, which is right above our head, the third eye, which is in between our eyes. That's our point of intuition and just knowing things. The throat chakra, the heart chakra, our solar plexus, which is just below our breastbone to the top of our belly button, the sacral chakra, which is the belly button to about the hip bones, and then the root, which is everything between the hip bones and our legs. So these are the main energy centers of our body, and we're going to go over this energy center grid today. So let's start by talking about our crown. So we are composed of energy. Everything is energy, right? We know that from our science class when in high school, physics class. Everything is energy. Our bodies require energy in order to move and in order to have life and to be vibrant. That energy enters into our body through our crown. That is our connection to intuition, to source energy. If you are a person of faith, that is your connection to God. That is where that energy comes in, that life force energy. When our crown is in balance, it's easier for us to feel joy, to feel balanced, to feel accepted, and to have playfulness. We might feel more spiritual and more connected to our faith. And when it's not balanced, there is more of a connection to the physical or materialistic plane, right? So we're holding on to earthly things more. We're having a harder time reaching that source energy, reaching that elated feeling that we feel when we're living in our faith or living in our truth, living in our freedom, right? That the happier we are, usually the less material things that we feel that we need. So it's very important for our crown to be balanced so that we can enjoy that connection to something that's bigger than us. The next energy center of the body is the third eye. So the third eye is right between your eyebrows, like and kind of on your forehead, okay? This is the center of your body that is connected to your intuition and your will. So as an entrepreneur, sometimes you lay in bed and you've got all of these great ideas that are, I call them downloading. These great ideas are downloading. And you almost feel like you wish you had a pad of paper and a pen near the bed, right? Well, that's because in the evening, when we finally allow ourselves to slow down a little bit, sometimes that intuition can start churning and we start getting more of our ideas that are coming in because we're actually settling down. That area of our body is a little bit more active in the evening because that's where melatonin is produced, and that can sometimes stimulate some intuition to come in as well. Also at night when you're dreaming, your third eye is pretty active because that's the intuition center of your body. And so again, that's when I say we're taking a download, like you might wake up with all sorts of great ideas. So as far as the physical components of our body, the third eye has your pituitary gland, your lower brain, your eyes, nose, your spine, ears, automatic nervous system. It's all connected to the third eye. So as you can see, there are a lot of things that are going on that have to do with our intuition. When it's balanced, there's deep understanding, you feel inspired, more imagination, divine connection, right? Because the crown is clear, it's helping that divine energy to come into the third eye, and that helps you feel that joy. Now, this is where we start getting into the physical and emotional imbalances and how they can affect us. So if you're having an emotional imbalance, you might feel confused, a little bit of a need for control, you might feel judgmental. If you're having a physical imbalance, these can be ailments like tumors, strokes, insomnia, which is a huge one, hormone imbalances, headaches, or depression. So think about when you're moving through your day, maybe you're working with a lot of clients, maybe you're trying to complete a big project or you have a deadline. Think about how we furrow our brow, right? We furrow our brow. We're squeezing our third eye. We're squeezing that intuition so that things can't flow quite as much. And then what happens? We start to get headaches, we start to feel tired, we start to lag. Those are all things that can happen from that one physical thing that we're doing by furrowing our brow, and that can turn into a whole physical thing in the body. So emotionally, if we just, try to stay connected, try to take some deep breaths, and I'm going to give you some more tools at the end, and prevent yourself from furrowing your brow, it will keep your intuition more opened up, and that will help you through your day as an entrepreneur. Next, we're going to talk about our throat. This one, so important, right? In business, we have to be able to have expression and positive communication with people. We have to be able to speak our truth. We have to be able to get our message out there as business owners. So from a physical standpoint, we need to take care of our throat. So that would be something like drinking lots of water, making sure that, you're keeping your oral hygiene, right? If we start getting cavities and we start feeling lousy in our mouth, that's all connected to our throat, and that creates imbalance. So you can see the throat is actually not just your throat, but it's also your thyroid gland, your upper lungs and your arms, the tops of your arms, the top of your digestive tract, your jaw, and your metabolism are all connected to your throat. So those of you who have any thyroid issues, maybe you're on medication, your throat chakra, your throat energy center is being affected. How many of us, when we've got a deadline or we're really nervous about something, we start clenching our jaw, right? So energetically, we're feeling that pressure, we're feeling that anxiety, that nervousness. We might start to clench our jaw, right? That affects us being able to communicate. So that energy center is going off balance. So then it starts to create problems. Maybe you're getting lockjaw. Maybe you're having a hard time. You're having acid reflux. You're feeling the burning in your throat. Sometimes people have swallowing conditions when their throat chakra is off balance. Now, when it's balanced, you're accepting of love. When you have a balanced throat chakra, you're more able to express yourself. And part of loving in this world is being able to express that. So you're more accepting of love, creative abundance, right? You have creativity, you're saying what you want, you're making your needs met through communication. So that creates abundance. Self-expression, communication of your needs and wants, trustworthy, right? We all trust people when we know that they're able to tell us things truthfully, when they're able to speak their truth. And then it makes the person, mirroring. We speak our truth. It upholds our relationships. It holds us to a higher standard in our relationships. It's very important. And again, it helps us to feel more peaceful. So as a entrepreneur, as a business owner, it is so important to have effective communication. Now, when we have emotional imbalances, right, some of the things that we just talked about, if you have something going on in a relationship in your life, whether it's business or personal, right, those can create emotional imbalances in our throat chakra. Maybe we don't feel like we can speak what our needs are, right? We lose our voice. And we have these common expressions in our everyday life. I lost my voice. I didn't feel like I could say what I wanted. Maybe somebody's intimidating you. It affects your throat energy center. You're swallowing what you want to say, right? A lot of times if you look at somebody, especially, it's always fun to watch a trial. You can see a lot of tells once you know through the energy system of the body what's going on. You'll see somebody start to swallow. Or if you're going to start to cry, right? You get the lump in your throat. That's a physical manifestation of something emotional that's going on in the body. The emotion affects you. So physically, you've got that lump in your throat. You start getting tears coming out of your eyes. These are all caused by emotional imbalances at the root of it, lacking expression. So again, these physical imbalances, right? The emotional imbalance usually is what starts a physical imbalance. So we'll have problems with our mouth or jaw. Maybe you're grinding, maybe you're getting lockjaw, or your jaw is really tight. You're clearing your throat a lot. Maybe you have a thyroid problem. So these are all things that come about when our throat is not balanced. So now let's talk about the heart. The heart center. This is the center of course, love, compassion, grief. Now, from a business standpoint, a lot of us went into entrepreneurship because we had a message, because we wanted to do something different to serve our community, to serve our area of expertise. We became an authority, right? That all came because we opened up our hearts. We saw a need. We wanted to fill that need. I know that we have a lot of nonprofit people in the group. Your heart center is huge. You operate from your heart. So our heart is the center of love, compassion, and grief, like I mentioned. From the physical components of the heart chakra are your actual heart, but also your thymus gland, which is right underneath your breastbone, your lungs, your arms, and your hands. These are all parts of your heart chakra. So when it's balanced, we have a lot of empathy, love, goodwill, compassion. We're open-minded, we're outgoing, we're giving. So can you see as an entrepreneur how important it is for our heart chakra to be in balance? When we have emotional imbalances, we might have a fear of love or intimacy, a fear of physical touch, a fear of letting others in, right? Fear is the opposite of love. So a lot of fear. Also grief. When we have grief, that's an emotion that affects us up in our heart chakra. And that, of course, creates physical imbalances, blood pressure imbalances, heart problems, immune system issues, breast, lung, or diaphragm issues. These are all physical imbalances that we can feel in our heart. I know that I had suffered some grief a while back from a death, and it was so difficult for me to take a deep breath. I couldn't take that deep breath because the grief, it was, right, soul crushing grief. We've all heard that expression. I was having that soul crushing grief. So that was an emotional imbalance that created a physical imbalance. I couldn't take a deep breath. So the heart chakra, very important as an entrepreneur. Now we're going to talk about our solar plexus. So our solar plexus, again, is from the bottom of the breastbone to the top of the belly button. So our solar plexus is the center of self-worth, willpower, control, strength, some fears and anxieties, and weakness. The physical components of the solar plexus are our stomach, liver, adrenals, our pancreas, gallbladder, spleen, the digestive system, and our mid-back. So when it's balanced, we feel a little bit more spontaneous. We're detached from things. We don't base our happiness on a physical object. We find more happiness from within, and it's easier to do that when our solar plexus is balanced. We have a more healthy self-esteem, and we're effective in our worldly pursuits. So you can see how, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as a professional, it would be important to make sure that your solar plexus is balanced. So let's talk about some of those emotional imbalances. You might feel blocked. You might feel yourself not taking action. You're stuck. Maybe there's guilt or shame. Maybe you're codependent in your relationships. These emotional imbalances affect the solar plexus. I tell people to think of the solar plexus as our point of self-worth. What are we thinking about ourselves? And that's affected, right, by things that other people say to us or things that have happened to us. Our solar plexus takes a huge hit in this area. So physical imbalances are any of the organs listed above might start to have problems. Also the lymph system of the body, which is the fluid that is in between all of our organs. Our kidneys, repressed energy leads to cancers. Also arthritis and ulcers. These are all physical things that can happen when the solar plexus chakra is off balance. So in business, you know, maybe we have that business rival, right? Maybe you know each other is your rival, and it can be fun because it can keep us challenged and keep us fresh with our ideas. But sometimes we can drive ourselves crazy with those things, right? Thinking about what all the competition is doing, right? When we think about what our competition is doing, we take a hit, right? You might start to feel an upset stomach. Maybe you find that you're starting to hunch over because you're protecting your solar plexus. So in business, it's really important to make sure that we stay balanced in this area. Sacral chakra. So the sacral chakra is from your belly button to about the top of your hip bones and everything in between there. So your sacral is awesome. As an entrepreneur, a lot of us have really active, strong, balanced sacral energy centers. So these are the centers of our feelings, like our excited feelings, our creativity, our personal fire and spark, our power, our personal power. So think about when you decided to start your business or to go forward with your new endeavor, you felt alive. You were on fire, right? That's where that expression comes from. We're on fire. Well, that is our personal power. That is our sacral chakra really coming out and helping you with those creative juices, right? We've all heard of creative juices. That comes from your sacral chakra. So your reproductive organs, some of your digestive organs, your urinary tract, kidneys, and your lower back are all in the area that comprises your sacral chakra, okay? So when it's balanced, we're open, we're receiving, we're enjoying life. The creativity is flowing, right? The juices are going, everything's exciting. That is when your sacral chakra is in balance. Now, emotional imbalances. When you are taking a hit with your lack of self-love or self-acceptance, right? we've all gone through that. I know that I'm guilty of that as a business owner. Oh my gosh, am I good enough? You know, maybe I'm starting to get a little bit down on myself. I'm losing my spark. I'm losing my fire, right? You got to pump that back up. If you have difficulty digesting emotions, if you cannot commit, if you have difficulty feeling sexually satisfied, these are all emotional imbalances that come about when your sacral chakra is off balance. Physical imbalances, you can have that with your genitals, your sexual organs, your large and small intestine, bladder, appendix, your stomach, your lower back, and your sciatic nerve. We work with people on their sacral chakra all the time because it takes a hit so easily when things are not in balance. So in your business, things that can make your sacral chakra be off of balance is, again, feeling that flat feeling, starting to lose steam, right? That's when your creative juices are kind of flattening out. So, you know, those are things to pay attention to if you need to bring yourself back in balance. The last energy center that we're going to talk about is your root chakra, your root energy center. This is really important for entrepreneurs, probably one of the more important energy centers for an entrepreneur, for a business owner or a professional. The root chakra is all about your hierarchy of needs, right? We've all heard of the hierarchy of needs. It is so affected, and for a lot of people right now, our root chakras are all out of whack because we are in a place where a lot of us are having to pivot our business strategies. Our lives have been turned upside down. You know, our businesses are certainly being turned upside down because our basic needs as human beings are being affected. And your basic needs are your root needs, okay? So abundance, your will to live, security, money, jobs, fertility, your sense of belonging in your community, your confidence. These things are all rocked hard by your root chakra. It's all housed in there, okay? From a physical, you know, which physical components of the body, the root chakra is your adrenal glands. So think fight or flight, bladder, your genitals, your spine, and your hips. So as we've worked through these energy centers, you have seen that sometimes some of the parts of the body overlap. And that's because our energy center it's all connected through the body. So sometimes, you know, the energy center, it just depends what's going on. And when I'm working with people, I can kind of tell which one of the chakras are being affected, even though it might be an organ that is part of more than one of the chakras. So I just kind of look and read through the body and see what's going on. When the root chakra is balanced, you feel true to yourself. You feel steady, unshaken. You feel whole and complete, and again, at peace, right? So many of these chakras, when it's balanced, you will feel at peace. The key is getting them to all be balanced at one time, right? So the emotional imbalances that can happen are fear of the world, feeling threatened, jumpy, you're having panic attacks. Those are things that can happen when our emotions are being affected by things that have to do with the root chakra. There's so much of this going on right now. Physical imbalances would be digestive disorders, problems with the lower back, even problems with the sacral chakra. It can affect the root chakra. A lot of times, if people are digestive disorders, we're talking about constipation, or maybe we're going to the bathroom too much. When we get scared, when we get nervous, we clench. Our whole body clenches up, and we can't excrete waste. So a lot of times when people are having an imbalance physically, you know, when they're nervous about things emotionally, physically, they have a hard time going to the bathroom. So these are all things that have to do with the root chakra. So I think you can probably glean from this as a business owner how important it is for this energy center to be balanced, right? Because so many of the things that we do as business owners and as entrepreneurs, we filter it through the lens of how is it going to affect my family? How is it going to affect my checkbook? My security, all of those things come into play. So it's a really important area of the body to make sure that we keep in balance. So how does it work? How does energy healing work? So when we use energy healing for the body, we are channeling universal or quantum energy into an area of the body using intention. And we teach energy healing classes. I always tell them it's the recipe of intention and imagination. So this energy that we are channeling, it moves much like radio waves traveling through the air or Wi-Fi, okay? And for me as a practitioner, I've been trained to concentrate this energy into specific parts of the body. For those of you who are kind of science geeky people like me, there's a lot of information that you can read about quantum energy healing, and it talks about how from an atomic level this works, because this is all just moving atoms through the air, channeling it to another person. We don't get too much into it here because it's just like, it can be a little bit too much information. But if you're interested, I can certainly send you information if you want to just let me know. So from a feeling standpoint, this energy, it feels very gentle and very subtle. So recipients of this energy, which I know I've worked with many of you that are watching this, you might feel warmth, you might feel tingles, deep relaxation, like deeper than your normal night of sleep, like a deep, deep relaxation, and sometimes some emotion. Sometimes people cry as they're releasing things that we're unblocking in the energy system. You might have a release, and that might cause a little bit of crying. And this work can be done in person or remotely with the same outcome, because I'm moving energy, from point A to point B. I don't need a person to be in front of me. And of course, right now, all of my work is virtual. And I think that in a lot of ways, the virtual sessions are even more effective, because when I'm working with people in person, if I'm touching their body, they're expecting to feel something on that part of their body. But as that energy moves through, it can unblock all sorts of things in the body, not just the area that I'm touching. So I think that a lot of times with the virtual sessions, people are able to feel so much more because they're not focusing on where my hands are or what I'm doing, because they can just let themselves rest, because they're at home laying in their own bed, and I'm here in my home doing my work and just channeling that energy. And I think it's a more unique result for people, for sure. So hopefully you were taking some notes of the things that resonated with you. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you some tools on how to work through some of these blockages yourself. So one of the biggest things to help you to remove these blockages is simply to have an awareness. That is the first step. So many times people they're aware that something is going on. They're aware that something isn't quite right, that there's something holding them back. There's something that's not allowing them to move forward. So hopefully when we were going through the energy system, you recognize some things that you felt related to you, and now you have that awareness. So that is the first step, understanding what our body is telling us. That helps us to make decisions about what to do next. So the next thing is channeling energy to the areas of imbalance, and that's all done through intention. So I'll tell you right now, like, we all have the ability to move energy. We do it every time we hug somebody. We do it as a parent if our child falls and we rush to pick them up and we give them that hug. We're wrapping them in our aura, and we're blasting them with that love energy. That's what's really going on when we're hugging somebody, when we're touching somebody, safe, gentle touch. We are helping to heal them. So many of us right now, me included, I am a hugger. I love to hug people. I love to, express to people how I care about them. And a lot of us are being affected by not being able to share energy with each other right now. So channeling energy to the areas of imbalance through intention can help you. So those areas of the body that you identified as we were working through the chakra system, simply put your hands there. Or if you don't even want to put your hands there, just close your eyes for a few minutes and take some deep breaths and just imagine. And I always tell people to do a white beam of light, because to me, when I'm bringing in energy, when I'm channeling in energy to push into somebody else, it's not my energy that I'm giving. I'm channeling energy that was intended for them from the universe. And I just imagine that that energy is coming in and dissolving that blockage. Okay. So channeling that energy. So if it's a physical issue, if you've got something physically that has been going on for a long time, I tell people to think, do you go to the doctor or not? If you have never had that physical ailment checked out, please do. Energy healing is the missing piece, but it's not the only piece. It is so important to make sure that you are paying attention to the physical things that are going on in your body. So, gentlemen, a lot of times you're having pain in your prostate area and you ignore it. Okay, go get it checked out. Yeah, it's not pleasant, it's not fun, but go get it checked out. Ladies, we ignore our hearts. We get chest pain, we're getting tightness, we're getting pain radiating down our arm. We blow it off because we think we're tired. We think we've just been doing too much. Oh, I'll just get some rest this weekend and it will go away. I'm not trying to frighten anybody. I'm just saying, please don't ignore those things, okay? Get them checked out if it is a reoccurring problem. Now, if you've had those things checked out, and you go to the doctor and they're doing all the testing and they're telling you a couple of different things. They're telling you, we can't find anything wrong. And you in your heart, because you know your body better than anybody, you're saying, there's definitely something going on here, but you're not getting any answers from doctors. They'll tell you that, or they'll tell you, maybe you should go and talk to somebody, right? I've heard that many, many times in the 18-year journey that I had trying to get a diagnosis of, what was going on with me and what was going on with my family. I even had unnecessary surgeries because, doctors were like, well, it could be this, let's check it out, let's do this. Sometimes it's just something that needs to be corrected through energy healing. If you, we have a lot of doctors refer people to us. We have therapists refer people to us. Sometimes those things are just too hard to say. Sometimes the trauma that we have had is just too much to bear, okay? Energy healing, we can come in, it's the therapy without the talking. You don't have to tell me anything. I can just go in and look at the blockage and start helping you to unknot it and move that energy out, okay? So those are a couple of things to think about with physical issues about going to the doctor or not. The next one is, I call it Amanda's Mindfulness Moments. In the morning, I start every day with just sitting and closing my eyes and just taking a couple of deep breaths, but then just breathing regularly. And I just think about what intention I want to put on my day. I don't start thinking about all of the things that I have to do. There's a big difference. As an entrepreneur, our brains start going the minute we wake up in the morning. Okay? We're not thinking about what we have to do. We're thinking about how grateful we are for the things that we have to do, right? There's nothing better as a business owner than to have a thriving business. Okay? That's a good thing. I know sometimes it's like, oh, I'm so busy. But put the mindfulness to it, like, wow, I am so grateful that I get to do this, that I get to serve my community, that I get to serve the people that I am in business for today. Just take a moment to acknowledge that. You are a rock star at what you do. Your message needs to be out there, and that mindfulness moment can help you get there. Okay. More tools to help break up blockages: meditation and prayer. Scientifically proven on both counts to make a difference. So there are free apps out there. There's Headspace, there's Calm, there's so many YouTube videos that have got different guided meditations. If you're a person of faith, you already know that prayer works. So meditation and prayer, wonderful tools to help to break up those blockages. We talked a little bit about gratitude when we were talking about mindfulness moments. You can incorporate them. And working with an energy healer. Shameless plug, I'm here. I work with people all the time that maybe there's something that is a very deep trauma that happened to you that you have been carrying with you all of your life. It's time to start moving some of those restrictions that you have put on yourself in your life, not even realizing it, because of your trauma. You can come and work with us. We can start helping you to unknot that. And again, you don't have to say anything. We can just go in and remove that blockage. I'm not a mind reader. I can't always see the trauma that you went through. Sometimes I understand by the energetic pattern what kind of trauma it might be, but not always. But that doesn't matter. I can see the blockage, and I can start to help remove some of those big blockages so that you can start to live the life that you want, both personally and professionally. So all of this being said, I told you about my promise in the beginning. I promised God that I would spend the rest of my life helping people to heal. So I am fulfilling my promise, not just to God, but also to you. So through the years, I've become a certified Reiki master teacher and practitioner. I'm a certified biomagnetic therapist, a holistic health consultant, and herbalist. Between my husband and myself, we have helped hundreds of adults and children with energy healing. And we have lots of reviews online between Yelp, Google, Facebook, our website. Our reviews show some of our clients' successes. Not everybody, obviously, because this is very deep, vulnerable personal work. But we do have a lot of success helping people with their blockages. And that's both from an entrepreneurial sense for all of you that are watching today and on a personal level for people. So today, I am offering, I've opened up my schedule for the next couple of weeks. I'm offering free 30-minute breakthrough calls for those of you that have questions. I'm sure some things maybe have come up for you that you want to know more about. You want to talk about your personal situation a little bit and see if there's if there's something more that you can do yourself, or does it require coming in and getting some help from us first? We can kind of dive into that and see what would be best for you. But where are you stuck, right? Think about, where are you stuck? I can support you. My contact information is there on the screen, and in just a couple of minutes here, I'm going to be joining you for a live Q&A. I thank you all so much for joining me today. It's an honor to serve all of you. It's an honor to help you and get this information out to you so that you can stay on a good track for yourself, both on a personal level and on a professional level, because you deserve that. Thanks so much for joining me today.